With Superman 2 also a huge success, the Salkinds of course want to make a Superman 3. However, their original plans to have Brainiac and Supergirl in the movie were scrapped when Alexander Salkind heard of a Johnny Carson interview with Richard Pryor in which Richard Pryor made it clear that he would love to be in a Superman movie. The result? Superman 3, which is essentially a Richard Pryor vehicle with very little of the heart that it should have had. I will defend it in saying that it does have a very good subplot dealing with the return of not Kal-El, but Clark Kent to Smallville and being reunited with Lana Lang. This plot works really, really well, to be honest, as does the internal struggle within Superman when he has to confront his darker side. However, the visual gags and overall slapstick nature of the film, thanks to Richard Lester, are so overpowering that it's hard to look past them and enjoy what is there. Plus, the almost complete absence of Margot Kidder, who had been so vocally against the replacement of Richard Donner in Superman 2, really does make the film lose its... The villain, played by Robert Vaughn, is just not on the level of Gene Hackman. It's clear that the story wants to have another Lex Luthor. Performances by people such as Annette O'Toole as Lana Lang, and even Richard Pryor at times, who, of course, always was a very, very amusing comedian. He does try to sell this material that just isn't very well written. And Christopher Reeve actually looks physically in his best condition in any of the Superman movies. The effects are still pretty much on the same level as the first two. So it's a mixed bag. It's not one that I can strongly recommend. However, I will say that it is a more cohesive film than Superman 2, although it embraces all of the things that Superman 2 did wrong. And if you do watch it, you really do have to see it as just a single issue, a single storyline. Although Superman 3 was successful, it was not successful on the level of the first two, and because of these diminishing returns, Warner Bros. Was losing its interest in the franchise. As such, the Salkinds decided to turn their attention to Supergirl, who was supposed to be in Superman 3. Now she was going to get her own solo film, and initial plans to have Christopher Reeve make a cameo as Superman were scrapped when Reeve made it clear that he was disinterested after he felt that Superman 3 was very, very mishandled. Jeannot Swarth, the director of Jaws 2 and the Salkinds' own Santa Claus the movie, comes in and does a fairly good job. Helen Slater is fine as Supergirl. Peter O'Toole is fun as the sort of mentor character that she has. Jerry Goldsmith does a very good job of handling the score since John Williams and Ken Thorne are no longer involved. Yet the effects are still pretty much on the level. Looking to see inside the Phantom Zone, as you see here. You get to see it in Supergirl as well. Everything is handled well, it's just missing something. It's hard to place what exactly it is. But it's like the film itself doesn't have the conviction to believe in itself, and so why should we believe in it? If you see the longer cut of the film, it really does help to flesh out the characterization of Supergirl and all of the other people. And many of the film's narrative weaknesses, frankly, come from the source material itself, because Supergirl always was a contrived character. However, I will say that the plot does have a few unanswered questions, especially about the very existence of Argo City, that really should have been addressed. Frankly, I'd say that this is a better film than the theatrical Superman 2 or Superman 3. However, it never comes off as honest and meaningful as Richard Donner's contributions to the series. Even so, I would mildly recommend it if you're looking for more adventures within the Superman film universe. And it's also, unlike Superman 3 and Superman 4, still somewhat compatible with Superman Returns, as it claims at the beginning that Superman has gone on an adventure to another galaxy, so it's able to escape the retcon, just like the people of Argo City are able to escape the fate of the planet Krypton. Hi, I'm film critic M.A. Moreno, and here's another M.A.PSA. I'm here to tell you that we can learn something from Superman 3 and Supergirl. We can see how we can be supermen and superwomen in our relationships, wouldn't you say? Superman, on the one hand, shows how not to approach a relationship. It's not just enough to have abilities and skills, you also have to have the good nature to back it up. And that's where the struggle came in Superman 3. Meanwhile, Supergirl shows us the real way to be a superwoman. You see, Selina, the witch, is just driven by power and desire. And much like the evil Superman, or the evil persona of Superman from Superman 3, she only leads to her own destruction by not thinking of others. Meanwhile, the more kind and humble Supergirl, whose goals are to try to help the people around her. She's very community-minded. She's able to, save the universe, and I think that says something about what it takes to be a strong woman as well as a strong man. If you want to be super male or female, the goal that you should have is not to serve yourself, but to serve others.